the grid completely, unfortunately. So is Philip Harker. So I can't see anybody else absent at the moment as the lights get ready to go out. Yes, actually, also missing, I think we've got Dan Swift not turning up for work. Oh, that was either a very good or very optimistic start by somebody on the grid. I know who it is because I recognise the levers, but I'll wait to get confirmation. It might just be that they saw the lights go out half a second before anybody else. Round we go then through Redgate for the first time. Let's cheer them all safely through there as they make their way up to Hollywood. And indeed they do all navigate quite safely through there. Now comes the tricky part, navigating your way safely through the Craner curves. The dreaded Craner curves. We've seen a few casualties there this weekend, most notably on Thursday night. We did see, unfortunately, Ben Wood go down very heavily indeed and break himself. And that's put a bit of a downer on Dad Clinton's weekend. However, they're all good through there. Up they go then to McLean's for the first time. There's going to be a man out in front, and that's going to be Finn Chalk. He really is the class of the field. We don't see very much of Finn. I think Finn has only actually been out in one other round, and that was the Alton Park round, where he came out and decided to win a couple of races. One on the Friday, one on the Saturday. Didn't stick around or didn't make any points in the second race. But those 50 points he picked up, putting straight into 12th overall in the championship, even after missing Snefferton and Brands Hatch. So it looks like he's going to add 100 points to his tally this weekend. So all of a sudden he could be vaulting up into the top 4 or 5, depending on how the rest of it all shuffles out. And obviously there's class things to consider as well. Because the other thing with Finn is he's in the lightweight class, which is being led at the moment by Abigail Marshall on good consistency, I think, though Jake Courtney might have to word about that. Here we go then, up to Goddard's, 2-3 abreast coming into Goddard's. Finn Chalk, he's unchallenged out in front. Let's see what sort of a gap he's opened up after just one lap, whereas everybody else is really arguing and scrapping. Over the line they come then. It is Chalk from Kershaw. McRae, that's going to be the number 16 McRae, that's Luke. Then it's North McPherson. Ollie McRae has made up 3 places there. And O'Hara, Corty loses a couple of places. Horner, Carver, Woodall, Sugden, Carter, Osborne, Hayward, Gregory, Dwyer, Marshall, Drake and Goff. That's your top 20 over the line. Having a quick look, Carter loses 3 places. Corty loses 2. Carver makes up 2. So lots of chopping and changing throughout the field. Danny Goff making up 5 places there. Everybody safely across the line for the first time of asking, and obviously the fastest person on track. Finn Chalk, he leads the way by 2.385 seconds. That's the sort of gap you have across the line. I think we're going to be able to see double that gap by the time he gets round to the end of the second lap, as he trips the time of being out the back there and easily goes purple. As the next couple come across, very close between Kershaw and McRae. Lots of green lights turning up there. Adrian Kershaw would like to put one over on his right championship rival McRae, because those guys are arguing in the C2 class, as they have been throughout the year. Dan North picking up some good C2 points. He leads the overall championship as well as Dan North. Definitely a serious contender as the leader goes down into the Melbourne Loop, and we see that 2-way battle behind him, side by side, under braking. I think McRae's going to have to give best there. I think that's Kershaw down the inside, taking the space. Those two got a little bit of a gap before that next battle for the 4th place comes along, as Kershaw, that 23 machine, does indeed consolidate that second. There goes Chalk across the line, doing his best to hold everybody up. He comes across the line with a 48.9, and sure enough he has doubled that 2.3 second gap. He's down to 4.6 seconds. He is absolutely flying, really is the class of the field. Big field of bikes, still over 30 bikes on the track. Once again, big range of weight sizes, experience and everything else, all battling out in their own classes, their own way. There's 5 different classes in total mixed in here. We've got the C1, C2, C3, the rookies, and of course the overall championship. So plenty to play for as far as the points go. And Finn Chalk is absolutely the man to beat. Jake Cordy, though, is solid second on the C1s. At the moment, the other C1 rider is Abby Marshall. She's down in 17th place, but still 3rd in class and 2nd of the rookies at the moment. So she scores points in all 3 championships. It's a lot of them do, of course. Gregory in front of her is another one who will be scoring 3 points points as well, Ryan Gregory there. Finn Chalk again going a little bit quicker out the back there as he trips the time of being purple once again as they come down on the long straight, slightly undulating straight. You can see it on the cameras actually, probably better than anywhere else. We did see the light was reflecting very nicely on it this morning and looking at the race control cameras, and you can see there's a couple of distinctive humps there. You do feel them on the bike as well.
That's what I didn't realise as well. Of course, we know that there is a bit of a crest down the back straight underneath where the Dunlop Bridge was, but it's that second roller, isn't it, that kind of brings you into the chicane.
Yeah.
That I know Morgan Creasy said he had tried braking after that roller and it didn't quite work for him, but there is two distinct rises and falls, isn't there?
Yeah, absolutely. No, so it's a straight but not a flat. Probably the way to describe it. The ups and downs. So Chalk over the line, another fast slap, even though he goes purple and yellow this time. Double greens behind him though from pretty much everybody inside the top half dozen or so. He's a 48.535. I think he's already claimed the new lap record, the official lap record for us here. He got down as low as a 46.5 yesterday, so that's the absolute pace. He's running around a couple of seconds slower than that now, but I think that could aid down to the fact that it's Sunday afternoon fatigue, but obviously the track is not as favourable as it was at one stage.
So Christopher Rowland, number 15, towards the rear of the field there. I noticed that he was looking around him, so he's dropped a position on this lap. I'm not sure what's happened, but he was certainly looking around left and right and went 3 seconds slower on that lap than his personal best of the race so far.
Surprised Ollie McRae's not making a bit more progress as well, because Ollie there, who is currently running around in 9th place, actually started in 10th. So he's only made up one place from his original start, and I would have thought after getting up as high as that from the back of the grid earlier, he might be seriously challenging in the top sort of 4 or 5 there as well.
I'm sure Luke is pretty happy that he's not.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Luke, of course, is challenging inside the top 3 there as the overall, in fact, a very solid top 3 as well, because he's got a 1.5 gap between Daniel North, the championship leader overall. Adrian Kershaw doing well as well, and yep, that's been the battle. They've been like that for the entire race, mate. It's Kershaw and McRae arguing over 2nd and 3rd place. Finn Chalk, of course, is totally untouched in the lead, as he has been all week. He's looking to join Dave Twyford in the 4 from 4 at the weekend club. Pretty exclusive club, that one. But yeah, Kershaw seems very strong through the latter section. And of course, there's only one real place you need to be leading, as we always say, and that's exactly what Adrian Kershaw is going to be doing as they come across the line, separated by a couple of bike lengths once again. Gap is 0.159. McPherson now 3 seconds further back. Dan North is behind him because McPherson just went past on North, so he's having a bit of a tough time there. And Ollie McRae must have been listening, because all of a sudden he's made up 2 places, puts himself into 7th place and less than a second, 8/10 of a second back behind Jake Cordy. So we could have battled the big one and the little one as far as the weight classes go there as well. We do have a 10-second jump start penalty being applied to the number 7 machine of O'Hara, and I did see that one, mate, and that was, let's just say blatant, I think.
Okay, no worries.
Yeah, it was one of those, hang on a minute, he's moving, nobody else is. I think he might have just jumped the start, not by a little chunk. So Chalk has actually not gone purple in the fastest lap first time round last time, at 49.6. I wonder if he's getting into some back markers. No, I don't think he's quite managed it yet, but he is going to be running out of laps very quickly, as indeed is everybody.
Nigel Terry's in the pits there on bike number 65, so Nigel Terry unfortunately out of the race.
Not a good way to earn points, unfortunately, there for Nigel. And
Finn Chalk now in towards the Melbourne loop, but there's that battle for second coming out of the foggy S's at the moment, and at this stage, as we say, Adrian Kershaw has the advantage, but that of course can all change, as Luke McRae I think is a little bit too far behind to make a challenge this time around, but this is CB500 racing, isn't it?
Yep, sure is. Kershaw is strong through this section. He has proved it every single time of it. Geez, that's a gaggle of bikes behind him though, isn't it? There's 3 abreast coming out of the corner, basically.
Yeah, you can't get 4 CB500s much closer than that, can you? Liam McPherson is the man in 5th position at the moment, behind Jake Corsi and Dan North. That is 5th, 4th and 3rd, but Adrian Kershaw leads the number 16 of Luke McRae across the line once more by half a second. Dan North up next, Liam McPherson, Jake Corty. Sean O'Hara is in that battle, but only on the circuit, not on the timing screen, of course.
Yeah, absolutely. Comes across the line and starts to drop down the order. Somebody else has dropped down the field instead, because we see somebody picking their bike up, unfortunately.
Jamie Horner not pulling across the line.
Yeah, no, Horner don't make the corner, I'm afraid. So unfortunately for him, he's got to park that sucker up. He's given the marshal a hand, which is always welcome from the marshals. So he's well out of harm's way. But yeah, that machine of Horner, the number 17 machine, goes disappearing down the field rather rapidly, which is a great shame.
Sorry, for Horner.
Horner, yeah, I'm going to say where's the 17? No, it's Jamie Horner. Sorry, it's moving too fast for the eyes to keep up with it. Yeah, it is Jamie Horner. Indeed, makes his way across the soft padding there. Nice place to lie down. I promise you, Jamie, if you're with him, he's absolutely fine. Got nothing to complain about. Cursing his luck. I think it's just one of those gentle slide-offs that we've seen all weekend.
Last lap flag has gone out to number 87 there. Is it on the penultimate lap now? Oh no, sorry, we're coming into the chicane there. Not quite sure who I was looking at there, but it certainly looked as though it's very similar to Finn Chalk.
Who's going quick out there? McPherson's just gone green at sector 1, which is strange because he's in that real mix of bikes there, which is just making its way down into the chicane. That battle between Kershaw and McRae continues. Oh, that was a bit of push me, shove you, get the elbows out. Who's making room for who? Kershaw going for the inside of Goddard's. Could be a little bit too tight. He might be forced to run
McRae has the outside, and that seems to have, oh no, yes, it worked for him.
That has worked for McRae. I thought that might happen. And they're going to be getting the last lap flag, so the hurry-up flag is most definitely on. They're going to see Kershaw is coming back at it very strong indeed. Side by side under braking for Redgate. Goes Swoop, I think. Is that McRae?
Yeah, that's McRae out in front.
Yeah, second. A lot of carry, got a lot of speed. Behind them, it's the battle is McPherson, as you said, does indeed take that place from North. Then Ollie McRae moves up another place, so he's quitting himself well. He is in that top 6 battle there. Then it's Corsi gets relegated. Carver, O'Hara goes back by a couple there. Because he's had that penalty applied, of course. Then it's Sugden, Carter, Osborne, Woodall, Gregory, Dwyer, Hayward, McMillan, Finch, Marshall and Grimes. So all to be settled out there, and it was McPherson with the PB who's the quickest man on the circuit there, I think, apart from our leader Finn Chalk, who's still going around. It was sub 150 seconds. That's the bracket everybody wants to crack into, and sub 150 is your serious marker. But it's a very fast time around here as the top 3 have already made their way over the top there. The others coming in, so lots of chopping and changing. Looking like Carl has taken a long time to switch the lights out, so I don't know if he's still out there. No, he's just dropped back a long, long way. I think he might be down in a couple of places, but of course that will be because of the penalty there. Right, here we go then, side by side. This time it looks like McRae's going to be the strongest down into the hair, but we know how late Kershaw can hit those anchors. Oh, McRae is feeling brave. Surely he's going to run wide. As he know he gets a sucker turned. He's powering out. That's a good ride from Luke McRae there. He is doing it very proud. He has found some extra pace on that last lap. That battle continues behind him, and obviously Finn Chalk is going to come out of the corner and take yet another win. Congratulations to Finn as they come out. Oh, some good drive there from Kershaw. He's pulling alongside. That is as close as you get across the line. I actually think that went to Kershaw.
Kershaw's been credit, yeah.
Kershaw to me, exceeded by .015. Oh, McRae should have used a bit more track on the exit. Maybe blocked him off, held him back, but no, fair play. That was a proper drag race to the line. If it was any more draggier, they would have been wearing high heels and wigs, I reckon. Those two absolutely dragged it out of there. McPherson does indeed finish in 4th place. North is credited with 5th. McRae, that's a great ride for him for 6th. Then Corty, Carver, O'Hara with that penalty finishes in 9th place on the screen ahead of Carter, Sugden, Osborne, Woodall, Dwyer, Hayward. Gregory takes rookie prizes ahead of McMillan, Finch, Kearney and Marshall. Marshall finishes 3rd this time for Abigail, so not a great day at the races there for her, unfortunately, but nonetheless it's a solid top 20 finishes. Grimes, Carver, Drake, Goff, Dwyer all come across the line as well.